Good morning. Shalom. This is Daniel John Lee with Torah Restoration Ministries. It is early Tuesday morning, November the 7th. It is the 18th day of the 8th Hebrew month, and I wanted to make a short teaching called Revelation for Dummies. A lot of people look at the book of Revelation and say, oh, this is so complicated and no one can understand it, and it's just so hard and esoteric, and, we're just never going to figure it out. Well, that's just not true. Revelation is actually a very easy book to understand if you understand the template of the Jewish Hebrew feast days as stipulated in Torah, particularly Leviticus 23. You understand about Hanukkah and Purim that were added in as well. And you have the spirit of prophecy, which is the testimony of Yahshua HaMashiach. You have the Holy Spirit guiding you. It's actually very clear the way it's laid out, and I think it's even more clear with the geopolitical situation we're in as of early November 2017. So let's get right into it. Okay, so if you read the book of Revelation, you have 7 seals that are opened. You then have 6 trumpets. You then have 7 thunders, which are unknown. You then have a 7th trumpet, and you then have 7 bowls or vials. So that's the order of the revelation unfolding up until when Yahshua returns. So we're going to just make this very easy. The first seal, which is a white horse, it is false religion. It is the UN. And I think because of how it's white, it's a white horse. I think we're talking also even more particularly about Trump. And Trump, remember, although he pretends to be a anti-globalist, that's how he deceives so many people into voting for him, Trump really is a puppet of the New World Order, and he has been appointed and brought up on the world scene in order to bring the United States into World War III. That is his purpose, to bring our nation into a world war that we're going to lose. So this white seal has already opened. It's been opened for a while now, and it's been crescendoing. It opened first with the United Nations way back in whenever they formed it, 48, 49, or no, I guess right after World War II, 45, 46, which was what led to Israel becoming a nation. So that's when that first white seal was first broken, and then it increased with all the false religion and lukewarmness in Christianity and the great falling away, and then I think it's been typified in Donald Trump being appointed to lead to the second seal. The second seal is red, and this is a war with communism. Okay? So this is when China, Russia, North Korea attack the United States suddenly and without warning. This has not happened yet, but it's on the verge of happening. What we're seeing in Saudi Arabia, what we're seeing with Trump and North Korea escalating tensions, we are about to see China, Russia, North Korea, the red communistic countries, attack the United States. When this happens, the United States is going to lose. It's going to be removed off the map as a superpower, never to regain its status. And Russia and China will be victorious, but they're also going to be severely damaged in America's counter-nuclear attack. So this second seal is a nuclear war. It's World War III. It's about to happen. Its purpose is to remove the United States as a world power. It's going to totally change the world. And when that second seal breaks, the third seal of economic collapse, the fourth seal of plague and famine and disease, and the fifth seal of the martyrs crying out, the martyrs' blood crying out, they're all fulfilled right on top of each other as a direct result of this war that takes out the United States. Also, if you read Isaiah 18, that's a direct chapter about the USA, and also confirms that they are brought low, that we're brought low. So, once the second seal, communistic nuclear war, happens, the third, fourth, and fifth seal will all erupt as a result right on top of each other. It all happens together. Okay? Now, what you have happen after that is you have these first 4 trumpets. And these trumpets either describe a nuclear war and the effects of a nuclear war, or some sort of asteroid or comet or both that totally changes the earth in an apocalyptic fashion. I personally believe that these first 4 trumpets are nuclear war. It's basically describing what's happening in the second seal and in the third, fourth, and fifth seal. This is all one and the same. It's World War III. And I think it's likely that we're going to see the first trumpet blow on the 9th new moon, second trumpet on the 10th new moon, the third trumpet on the 11th new moon, the fourth trumpet on the 12th new moon as we're approaching Purim next year. So we'll see if my theory is right. Not exactly sure about that, but I believe all of this is World War III. I believe now the 6th seal, which is this huge earthquake, and the 5th trumpet is the counterfeit return of Yahshua, which happens when Satan is thrown down in Revelation 12. And this is what kicks off the final 3.5 years. This is the event I believe is going to happen around Purim of next year. And this is what kicks off the last 1290 days, or last 42 months of the beast rule. And that would be next Purim, possibly. So once you then begin the 3.5 years, you're going to have, during that 3.5 years, you have the martyrs being killed by the beast, you have the 2 witnesses preaching, and you have the woman who's in the safe place for that time. But during that 3.5 years of Satan ruling the earth through this son of perdition, you're going to have at some point the 6th trumpet, which is the Russia and China moving against Israel. See, what's going to happen geopolitically is Russia and China are going to attack the United States, and they're going to win. The United States is going to lose. But even though Russia and China are victorious, they are badly hit by a counterstrike by America's nuclear arsenal. And so they're licking their wounds. Because of that, Israel emerges as the de facto superpower of the world. Israel is actually going to be more powerful than the United States is now. And because the son of perdition is going to be ruling over Israel, Israel is going to subdue Russia, China, Africa, Europe, India, the remaining 7 nations that are remaining after those 3 nations are uprooted. The remaining 7 nations are going to be subdued by Israel for 3.5 years. Toward the end of the 3.5 years, Russia and China are going to make a move against Israel because they don't want to serve Israel. And the son of perdition is going to go out with fury and is going to totally annihilate Russia and China. And at that point, the son of perdition is going to be invincible, because at that point, Russia and China are removed, just like the United States was. Now there's only like 5 nations left, and he's the ruler. And then, of course, that's when Jesus Christ of Nazareth comes and destroys this son of perdition with the brightness of his mouth. So we have Russia and China causing a false Armageddon at the beginning 3.5 years by destroying the United States. And then we have another Armageddon toward the end where Russia and China move against the Antichrist. The Antichrist destroys them. And then, of course, Yahshua returns to confront the Antichrist and destroy him. So during that 3.5 years, you have the 6th trumpet, which is the China and Russia attack against the son of perdition, which ultimately fails, but it kills a lot of people. I think 1/3 of mankind is what it says. Then you have the 7 thunders, which are so terrible or mysterious that Yah tells John not to write it. And then right at the end of that 3.5 year period, during the fall feasts, if this starts in Purim of 2018, this would be the fall feast of 2021, you would have the 1 Thessalonians 4 last trumpet resurrection, which would happen in the days between trumpets and Kippur, Yom Kippur. And that's when the mystery of Yah would be finished, and the resurrection of the saints, both dead and alive, and that would be the 7th trumpet. Then, when we're up in heaven, keeping the feast days with Yahshua in heaven, the 7 bowl judgments, or vials, are being now poured out upon the earth, upon the seed of the beast, and those who've taken the mark of the beast, which is making atonement for the earth, just like we're up on the sea of fire and glass making atonement for Yom Kippur. And then finally, we actually return with Yahshua on white horses, along with the angelic host, and with the brightness of his mouth and the breath of his mouth and the brightness of his coming, he destroys the son of perdition. He casts the son of perdition, the beast, and all the armies that came against them into the lake of fire. The dragon, Satan, is actually bound into the abyss along with all of his rebel angels. And now we have the 1,000-year reign of peace that Yahshua of Nazareth institutes at his return when he sets down Mount Olives and Mount Olives splits. So I hope this very clearly outlines how things progress in Revelation, how it fits in with our modern geopolitical situation. I do believe we are on the verge of the second seal red communistic war. That out of the ashes of that war, the son of perdition will take 5 months to consolidate his power. That's going to begin the Great Tribulation. So if I'm right, then the next 4 months, particularly the next 4 new moons, we're going to see some serious judgments and effects of nuclear war and all sorts of craziness going on between the United States and the red communistic nations of the world. And by Purim, the United States will be defeated. Russia will take the eastern half of the United States, China the western. But like I said, Russia and China will still be badly hit by by America's counterstrike as it goes down. And so Israel, under the power of the Son of Perdition, will become the global superpower and subdue the remaining 7 major nations under it. And the whore will rule with him for 3.5 years. And it'll be a terrible time. I mean, if this actually happens between Purim of 2018 and the fall feast of 2021, it's going to be the most terrible time known to man. Unless you're part of that Revelation 12 woman, the Philadelphian Christians, who make it to the safe place for 3.5 years. And you can make it. I've made many videos about that. It's your choice to pray Luke 21, to pray that you're grafted into Philadelphia, and to let the Holy Spirit do the things it needs to do in your life in order to be qualified to be part of Philadelphia. And you can still pray that even now, even while we have judgment on the door. Now, my whole theory about the new moons, on the next new moon is November 19th. Are we really going to see the first trumpet blast as described in Revelation on the next new moon? Well, my thinking is this. If it's true, Noah went into the ark 7 days before the flood. So 7 days before November 19th would be Sunday, November 12th. So if we see something that the saints would say, ooh, that's definitely a sign, then that might be a warning that the new moon on the 19th will herald the first trumpet revelation. If November 12th comes and goes and there's no 7-day warning, maybe nothing will happen. So, interesting to think about. But at least now you have a template of how Revelation unfolds and what's going to happen. The next event in Revelation is the second seal, communistic global nuclear war, which again leads quickly to the third, fourth, and fifth seals being broken, which also includes the first 4 trumpets. And then, of course, the 6th seal and the 5th trumpet are the same event. It's the counterfeit return of Yahshua. That's what's ahead. And that just kicks off the 3.5-year Great Tribulation. But a lot of people are going to think it's Armageddon. All right, this is Daniel John Lee with Torah Restoration Ministries. Happy 18th day of the 8th Hebrew month, the month of new beginnings. And the website is spiritandtorah.com. Shalom.